Hello everyone, I'm Carius, and today we're going to be looking at the Breacher again, because I've got some updates. So, I had a few issues last video that I've since resolved or figured out the cause of. I've also gone kind of crazy with ammo holders and figuring out like how I can get the most extra shells on this thing in a way that is still not in the way of operating the blaster, but when the tube and the chamber are full, this thing will hold 33 shells, which is kind of ridiculous. You can see I've got 2 sets of 4, 2 sets of 3 here on a slight riser so that they're not in the way of the match saver. This is a new match saver that I printed. I scaled it up by 1% and then sanded the hell out of it. And now it's actually got the right kind of hold on it. It's not super hard to get the shell out of it. So you can easily slide your shell into the open breech like you're supposed to be able to. And then I got the shell side saddle that I had to start with for another 8, and then 3 more back here. Because I reprinted the orange and yellow bits so that I could have a pick rail on this side for this ammo holder and a sling. So I've got the sling mounts now on the orange part. And the sling, I found out I needed not for using it as a backup, but for dropping it for when I'm just like walking around picking up shells off the ground and stuff. Because this blaster does get a little heavy and awkward to hold with one hand. And it just gets kind of tiring because it is a hefty blaster. So I found I actually did end up wanting to have a sling on it just to sling it for when I'm not necessarily using it, but I'm still carrying it and don't feel like dropping it somewhere. But now for the issues I had last video. For one, the catch being a little rough. I was right, that was just because of my textured print bed. After I sanded and lubed that, now the trigger's perfectly fine. It feels good to fire. The weird double ejecting issue I've had, I'm still not exactly sure how that happens. I know how it happens, but not why it would happen when I'm actually using the blaster. Because as you're loading the blaster and cycling it, if for some reason the lifter gets blocked, like say I have my finger here, now the shell is holding the lifter in place and it isn't coming back. And then, so you're not loading the next shell into the chamber. And then as soon as you rack it forward, the shell will pop out the bottom of the blaster. But I have no idea what was blocking the lifter. But I have a hunch that it has something to do with the main issue I came across. My magazine tube was 1/4 inch too short. And I checked Silly Butt's bill of materials, and it said that this tube is supposed to be 13 inches. Mine was right at 12.75. And that matters because it lets the whole tube shift forward 1/4 inch, so the drum springs are no longer locked in place properly, and they start bending and coming out of position and doing all kinds of weird things. When I actually ran this at a war, I had an issue where it wouldn't cycle at all because a drum spring had popped out a little bit and was blocking the tube. And if I cycled the blaster, the shell was coming out like this. It was just very slow, which means if you're pumping it like a regular shotgun, you're just going to jam because the shell hasn't made it into the chamber yet. And I think something going on with that is what was causing the double ejections that I had on my last video. Because now I have added a spacer in. Let me go ahead and take the front off here and show you. I found some polycarb tube in my shop that was the same size. Just some spare parts I had, and I got lucky that it's the exact same size as the tube, and I cut 1/4 inch slice off of that and put it in here. So you can see I have a little extra piece of tube to keep this seated correctly. And once again, this is an issue with the hardware kit. This is Outofdarts sending a tube that's too short, and not an issue with Silly Butt's design because his bill of materials has the correct size in it. So that's really irritating. Because not only is it causing all these jamming and issues, but one of the drum springs that was coming loose because of this ended up breaking because it was being bent back and forth as I loaded and cycled the blaster. So the end of the drum string snapped off, which didn't affect me that much because I have extra drum springs and I could replace it. But anyone else who buys this hardware kit and has the same issue isn't necessarily going to have an extra drum spring, an extra tube to make themselves a little shim out of. I hope that that was a one-off thing and all of Outofdarts hardware kits aren't like that, because it seriously screwed with my blaster and eventually made it inoperable. And if they're cutting tubes too short on all their kits, we're going to be seeing a lot more problems like that in the future from people who bought that hardware kit. But since I fixed that, I've had no cycling issues, and I have not seen a double ejection either. So I think maybe a drum spring had come loose to the point where it was blocking the lifter somehow and causing that issue. I'm not sure, but we're going to fire it a bunch more in this video and see if the curse of it being on camera causes the issue to happen again. But I suspect that since I fixed the tube being too short, that I won't have any problems. And one last update would be the shells. So, right after I posted my video, several new shells popped out of the woodwork from Zaf and Corvus. Corvus updated his shell to have more room so that it doesn't poke out the front, so that's a pretty good shell for the breacher. And Zach actually made what he's calling a flush 3X shell, which is just the same as his angled one without the angle, and it works really well. So both of these are pretty much perfect for the breacher if you just want a standard 3-time shell that won't bounce against the barrel on the way out of the blaster. Now Zach has been designing up a storm with these shells. He also made a flush 4X, which works pretty well. It's still asking a bit much out of the breacher, but it does work. And 8 darts out of this do feel like they are coming out of the blaster without bouncing that much. But the coolest shell that Zach's come up with, that I actually think is going to be my main shell for the breacher, is these alternate 3Xs that kind of remind me of Mickey Mouse. But it is kind of the best of both worlds between the separated chamber shells and the stock 3-time silly shell, where it's all one. This gives you a shell that doesn't really have an air leak between darts, but is also sharing the power between all the darts. So you won't get 1 or 2 darts hanging around in the shell that didn't get fired like you sometimes do with this kind of shell. But also, more importantly for me, this is easier to print. There's less silhouettes going on because it's one piece, so there's a lot less stringing if you have trouble with that, which my printer frequently does. So it's just a cleaner print. There's no supports. It's very simple, and it performs just as well as these separated chamber shells while being slightly simpler. So this, I'm going to go ahead and say, is my favorite shell for the breacher. And I'm going to be dumping an entire roll of filament, printing a ton of these to replace the angled ones that I've got. And I'll just use those in my battle axe. He also made an Alt 4X, but this is, again, asking a bit much of the breacher to fire 8 half darts out of this. This shell does work really nicely, and I do like it for the same reasons as the 3X. It's just right at the edge of what the breacher will comfortably do with its power. So I prefer to just stick with the 3X. So yeah, we got new shells, we got all kinds of ammo holders, and we have a breacher that no longer randomly malfunctions. So let's shoot some stuff. On a side note, a filament box holds 36 shells really nicely, and that also happens to be exactly how many that my bandolier holds. I thought it held 30, but it's actually 36. So that's a neat coincidence. Okay, now I'm going to empty these into those. Okay, so I've got it fully loaded with all the ammo holders. It's pretty ridiculous. Then I got these 3 back here. And I only went for 3 because I tried like a 5. And it was just, I just found it was kind of in the way of my hand, especially when I was trying to do the match saver shell. I'd always pull back and then kind of scrape myself on the shell holders that were way more forward. So I just stuck with 3. And I'm also realizing that this is 33 shells. It's very heavy, especially loaded with heavyweight darts. And this, plus my bandolier, is exactly 69 shells. Nice. Okay, let's shoot the cups. Reload. Why am I so bad at this all of a sudden? Let's see if I can get some of these reloads on camera. It's awkward at this angle, but I've gotten a little better at doing the double load thing. I say as I fumble it. So cleared the table, and I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 shells left. Also, no double ejecting that whole time. I think it was the magazine tube causing some weird issues. I set up more targets. So we got the rest of the shells. I had 13 from that last thing, and I just loaded a few more, so I'm at 22, about 2/3 of the total capacity. You can see I've got several empty slots, but didn't feel like loading that many. I'm going to try to get the reloads on camera a little better. We'll see how much damage we do to this. Well, and that's why I always just cover the surface of the table instead of stacking them, because one shot just deletes all the stacked ones. I've also got a few mega slugs. See if I can hit anything with them. Still got 4 shells left. Okay. I just loaded the 4 last shells in, primed it once, and ejected a full shell. So did I do something weird when I was loading it? Yeah, okay. So that's another way. I still think my previous issues were because of the shorter magazine tube, but I think what I just did loading it was I put in a shell and I didn't quite, there we go, and I didn't quite push it in all the way, so it didn't go past this shell stop right here, and now it's on the lifter and in the way of the lifter. So if I prime it back, it just comes out the bottom. Just make sure you're loading the shells all the way in if you don't want that weirdness to happen. Yeah, it's still, as long as I load it properly, it's still cycling very smoothly. I'm pretty sure that magazine tube being shorter and screwing up the drum springs was the problem. Of course, I made a giant mess again, and I have a bunch of shells that went into my trash box, so I'm going to have to dig those out. And there's all this to pick up. But that's fine. It's worth it. It's fun. This is how many of the new shells I have printed so far. Not very many. Still working on that. More. I need more. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. This little update on the Breacher. I freaking love this blaster. It is phenomenal. And now that I've fixed the few issues I had with it, it's just even better. I look forward to using this at a war now that I've fixed the cycling issues, because this last ABC war was kind of miserable for me, just going out on the field, having new problems with the Breacher, and then giving up. But all of those were due to the magazine tube being too short and drum springs actually breaking because of it. Well, I will see you in the next video, and until then, this has been Carius reminding you to have fun. Mickey Mouse. She's always got her little paws out when she's sleeping. Oh no, I woke her up. Hey, sweetie. Oh, yeah. She likes to head scratches. You see her poor little arms. They got shaved for the IVs. The poor baby had a stroke, but she had to spend some time in the hospital. But she's doing way better now. Yeah.